Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. Just been working on a little project. Okay, so I'm planning on doing a short video series over the course of this project, just sort of showing what I'm trying to do, my thought process, and just sharing it with y'all as it develops. Basically, I want to do like how indie game devs will do devlogs for their games, but for this music project, which I guess is basically just reinventing a studio vlog, but I want it to be a little more hands-on and showcasing everything, but you get it. I'm going to go through each song as I'm sort of working on the whole project and talk about the musical inspiration for each one, what the writing process was, and I want to get into the sort of studio technicalities of the whole production process of it. But I'm not exactly sure how much of that stuff to include in this. So let me know in the comments if it's too much studio jargon, we can sort of dial that back. Or if you guys are really into it, I can include more and get a little deeper into it. So just let me know. But anyway, let's get into Pro Tools and check it out. Okay, so this is the mix session, which is in Pro Tools. The initial idea for this entire project came from, I was joking around with the guys in one of the bands I play in, Drive Satsuma, and I said something about wanting to do a project where it's basically like R&B or pop R&B fusion, but just with like 8-string guitars on it. Because I was recently getting back into listening to heavier stuff because the drummer Tyler turned me on to Straight From The Path right before they broke up, unfortunately. Because no matter what I'm doing, like musically, whether it's like hip hop or trap stuff or EDM or rock or whatever, my musical foundation is always like R&B and soul and jazz chords and stuff. Like I'm a sucker for the 9s and sharp 11s and all that jazz. But anyway, by the time it gets the distorted guitars and everything on top, it doesn't sound super jazzy or R&B inspired, but I am writing all of these either on piano or sort of on guitar with a sort of like how I would approach writing an R&B song, just knowing that eventually I'm going to put a bunch of detuned, djinty-ass guitars over it. So the initial seed for this track in particular was actually a sample pack from Arcade, which I have pulled up here, mostly because this song was originally just sort of like toying with the idea of what this project would sound like. So like this was like more of a proof of concept than anything. I didn't really expect this to go anywhere. I don't really mind using Arcade and stuff like this to start working on a song, but I know like probably a few people are gonna be like fake producer. But it's this savor the moment one. And to be honest, now that I like hear it after, like I haven't listened to the original one since I started this song. This song is literally from months, if not almost a year ago at this point. But I haven't heard this, and I don't know why, like what led me to go with that particular sample. I do like think it was literally just because I didn't think I was going to turn this into anything, but I don't like it. Like now, I don't know. There's a non-zero chance that I just picked something at random and went with it. But I took it and like broke it apart into its pieces. So I don't think I used most of this. That is in there. Didn't use that. I used this. This is like the main seed of the song. And then this lead I used. So that was basically the beginning. You can hear the piano here. So like most of this is from the Arcade. And then we build into the rock part. So the drums are actually programmed. I've gone back and forth about whether I want to actually record real drums on this or not. I might, especially since the Sad Machine drop, and I had to go back and like listen to that song. The real drums just sound so good. So I don't know. I kind of like the artificiality of it because I feel like it pulls away from the rock kind of metal live sound a little bit. It's something I may do. But for now, they're east-west, storm drum drums, and then the kick, snare, and toms have some samples that I think I got whenever I was working with In Vogue Records.
I'm sick of playing real good, hey. I've been working hard, keeping low key, hey. All of you fake and you don't see me.
And I liked the sound of the drums on them, so I just kept them. Yeah, so that's basically all it is to the drums. There is in the verses and in the intro these sort of R&B drums. Which I think I got from Splice, and then I just chopped it up so that it had the pattern that I wanted it to, because originally the pattern was a little different. I think that's why like this part is here, because I wanted that like pop, because that ended up being the sort of groove in the chorus. So it sort of calls forward to what the drums are doing in the chorus of the song. So that's like a more soul R&B version of what the metal drums are going to be doing later. All right, keyboards and synths. Almost all of the synthesizers and keyboards and stuff like that in this song are from the arcade pack originally. So like that's in the choruses. And then it gets layered. With the guitar melody there. There are some, I think this one. I think I did make this synthesizer in Serum or something like that. In the second verse, it comes in the background. Yeah. In the bridge between the verse and the chorus, I did layer in a little Rhodes piano, and it just plays basically very simple versions of the chords for the most part. We get like a B major 7 kind of thing, just without the third. So it's the 1, the 5, and the 7. Major 7. And then it moves to this E flat chord. To be honest with you, I don't really know what I would call this. I mean, you could sort of think of it as like I guess a sus chord with the 9 E flat, or it's basically like a D flat or C sharp major 9 over E flat, but I honestly don't know. It's the bass is moving D, E flat, and then A flat. So, and then whenever we go to the next chord, it's basically A flat minor 7. Okay, guitars. Okay. Focus. Okay, so I'm in the middle of editing and I realized I didn't do all the YouTuber stuff in the middle. So I'm just pausing here real quick to say, please like and subscribe, do all the stuff. It's not your first day on YouTube. I won't take up too much of your time about this, but it really helps, especially now that I'm trying to get more active and more consistent about uploading. So also wanted to take this time mostly to say, so this weekend I have a couple shows with my friend's band Haunter. They're opening up for the Millionaires and I'm going to be playing guitar with them here in Houston, and then we're going to Austin. So I'm a little busy this week getting ready for that. But when I get back, I've got the Discord. I'm going to start getting ready to push that. And I'm also going to be spending the next week or so trying to get a release ready in time for Halloween. I'm going to be looking in, trying to figure out how to release the Halloween songs. Probably what's going to have to happen is I may have to strip out the copyrighted material and release like a purely instrumental version of it. And I would also like to produce something new and just package it all together and release it in time for Halloween. That may not happen because October kind of snuck up on me this year. But at the very least, I am going to be working to try to get something out for Halloween. So yeah, definitely subscribe so you can stay in the loop for all that. And let's get back to it. So the guitars, I'm mostly using Neural DSP Archetype Gojira, particularly this Pathfinder drop from Stephen Jones of Bleed From Within. I am using custom IRs. They're the Ownhammer Orange amp. And there's a couple of other presets. I think like I'm using the Dummy Thick one.
But I'm dummy thick.
From Contortionist. And I think those are using the 5150 IRs instead, but they're still Ownhammer. So for the most part, the leads and the clean guitars are in normal tuning, but the rhythm guitars are all tuned down an octave. And the way I did that, because I don't have an 8-string guitar because I'm a poser, is I'm using the Helix Native. And what I'll do is just go to an empty preset and throw polycapo and tune down either like 7 steps or 12 steps to get the sort of like... that kind of thing. So it's a little muddy compared to probably what a real 8-string would sound like, but it works for me for now. I mean, it's better than buying a whole new guitar just for this one thing. So the chorus is basically... I also really like the bridge rhythm part. Yeah. And like I was kind of talking about earlier, the main sort of melody in the intro and in the hook was based on the arcade sample, and I just sort of added some extra notes. Nice. Okay. There's some more guitar stuff I want to touch on, but real quick, let's go to the vocals. All right, so vocals. So this is the hook. And I just want to highlight every song that I've worked on this project so far that has vocals, so like 2. But it's weird that it happened twice. But I keep adding like ridiculously high harmonies to certain parts of it. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Because listen to this f***ing harmony. You're not who you think you are. Why? It sounds good in context, but it was such a bitch to sing that. You're not who you think you are. There's also a lot of cool vocals in the pre-hook. Satellite, all of that time gone, sell it out, profit on my love. So we got like a main and falsetto, low harmony, and another high harmony. And now that I hear it like this soloed, it kind of reminds me of All of the Lights. Satellite, all of that. Just the cluster of vocals, I guess. Oh, I didn't show you guys the full version of the verse, the drill part, so. Do you think you've been fair to me? And in the hollow of your heart. Also in the vocals, there's some like synthy kind of things, different sort of like vocal effects. In the second verse, it gets a little more electronic. And in the hollow of your heart. And so I'm using Manipulator to just mangle the shit out of the low vocals here. Does it cry like ivy on your thigh? So that's going on in the background. Got some format shifted down things. And actually, the pre-chorus part, when it's in the beginning and in the end of the song, it's heavily affected with vocal synth. Satellite, all of that time gone, sell it out, sell it out, sell it out. But then it also has me singing it up an octave at the end. So like there's this RnB section at the beginning before. Yeah, before the rock and metal part sort of comes in. And in the climax of the song, they come back, which brings me to the guitar solo. So at the end of the song, after the second hook, we go into a section where everything gets like really intense. I chop up the electric guitars a lot. You can hear that here. And the drums are just going like haywire at this point. Yeah. And over the top of all that is this guitar solo. And that one is, I'm pretty sure, the dummy thick preset with the Van Halen IRs. And then I have like a GTR stomp that's just doing like an old flanger kind of vibe. And then after that, we get the pre-hook back as a sort of outro. And then we just sort of like come back to this, which again is all arcade stuff for the most part. I think the only thing I really edited is the piano goes sort of back into itself to end. And I think on the actual project, depending on how things go, I'll probably either like have that transition into the next song or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get creative with it as we go. But yeah, that's basically this song. Thanks for watching this video and going through this song with me. I hope you guys liked it. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It helps. You know the whole deal. Gotta like and subscribe, the bell, all of that. So I should have some other stuff coming up soon. We can do a little preview of what the next song will sound like. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it when it drops. All right, guys. Thanks. Have a good one.